Hey y'all, so I recognize that it's been kind of forever since I've talked to the internet, but it's been kind of a little interesting with school and summer and life and stuff like that, so y'all get me. I get it, no excuses, but also I realized that I was trying to figure out what to say. And then I realized having really super eloquent, thought out stuff written down like on a nice little sheet of paper and stuff kind of really is and isn't my thing. Like, pastors, they're super awesome. They have nice little laid out what they're going to talk about. I realized I'm not really a pastor, and so I recognize that all of my friends, how do I talk to them? I use analogies. I'm like the queen of analogies where I live. So that's what I think I'm going to do from now on. And ironically enough, watching the news, not to get too specific, political, whatever, I'm just going to keep it very extremely vague for the sake of everybody's sanity on the internet. But I was talking to my mom and trying to articulate my thoughts, and because I'm going to school to be a teacher, I realized that I try to take these grandiose or abstract concepts and relate them to something that people can wrap their heads around. It's like, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense now, kind of thing. Hence the analogy part. And I realized after watching the news and certain things that's been going on, I realized that the world is kind of like a scab. I know that sounds really gross and really weird. Hang with me. So, the scab, think it's like on your arm, whatever. Actually, when I was little, got this huge, nasty, gigantic scab from bike riding. Totally skidding down a hill, gnarly wipeout. But yeah, this huge scab formed. It was really gross, shaped like a heart. It was disgusting. It was kind of funny. And one of the main things that my parents told me not to do, they're like, don't pick at it, don't do it, because you want to let it heal. And then I started thinking that's totally applicable to the world, is that it's a giant scab. Now there's two kinds of people who deal with that scab. First group of people, they sit there, kind of look at it, mess with it, whatever, deal with it, and life goes on. Next thing you know, it's infected, it gets worse, and just leave it at that of how bad it can get. And then the other group of people, they recognize it needs to be fixed. You need to do something about it. So that's where Jesus comes in, and the Band-Aid. So think of Jesus, Bible, Word of God as the Band-Aid. You want to stick it over Band-Aid so nothing gets into the cut, because you know it needs to heal. And Jesus is the salve, the little Neosporin, every child's best friend growing up. That was mine. Ironically, learned this at a conference I went to, Passion. Anyway, the shortened word for salve basically means healing. And what does the word salvation have in it? Salve. Ironically. So, salve goes on, Neosporin goes on, and you cover it up with a Band-Aid, and at the end of your life, when that Band-Aid gets ripped off, you know it's gonna hurt. It might be super quick and painful, or it might be like really slow pulling off. It might pull some of your hairs out. That's really painful, but you know what's gonna be on the other side. Complete healing. Everything's gonna be okay. Heaven. Other group of people that did not have the Band-Aid or salve, their wound gets infected, it gets worse, You know what the main disease, like the main reason why people died in the Civil War was because stuff got infected. Arms had to get cut off, limbs, all sorts of nastiness. Where do you think people are going to be left at the end of their life if they don't get that scab in their soul fixed? Hence the importance of telling everybody the importance of Jesus. Let the neosporin of life, that is Jesus, and his salvation. What do you have to lose? It helps people. So, thumbs up for an analogy if you liked it. Hopefully you did. If it makes sense, great. If it didn't, I'm really sorry, and I will try to make it a little better wording wise, make it more sensical, if that's even a word. I'm gonna go look it up now. Anyway, thumbs up. If you got any questions, comments per request, or concerns, put them down in the comments below. And I will talk to y'all as soon as humanly possible. Alright, y'all have a blessed day.